Ahead on Up with KREM, it is Hoop Fest weekend. Whether you're warming up your shot or just trying to figure out where to park, we've got you covered.
Plus, I've got what you need to know for the Hoop Fest forecast, as it is going to be cooler this weekend.
And later, 4th of July is right around the corner. We've got updates on how the Inland Northwest is celebrating America 250. Good morning and thank you for starting your day here with us on Up with KREM. I'm Brandon T. Jones. Happy Hoop Fest weekend out there to everyone who's playing, either participating, volunteering, whatever it may be. Happy Hoop Fest weekend. We want to start over in the Weather Center with Jenny Power, who's giving us an update on what things look like outdoors this weekend. Jenny, how are you doing and what can we expect in terms of the weather?
Yeah, doing great, Brandon. Hoop Fest, of course, it is a huge deal for the city of Spokane as thousands of people make their way into the Lilac City for this. So let's take a look at the forecast, because when we compare this weekend to Hoop Fest in the past, it is definitely going to be a cooler one. So today we are seeing highs just reaching the mid to upper 60s for much of the region. Slight chance of these morning sprinkles, but otherwise today is going to be mostly cloudy. It's our drier day here out of the two, with right now just seeing about a 40% chance of those showers picking up for us on Sunday. So on and off, something to be aware of if you do plan to be outside. As we take a look across the rest of the region here, we're looking at highs in the low 70s in central Washington, even a daytime high of 59 for Elk River there in parts of Idaho. So it feels cooler. These temperatures that we're seeing this afternoon are below average. Speaking of this afternoon, now, even though Spokane is looking mostly cloudy, we do have a slight chance of some isolated thunderstorms for these areas that are shaded in green. So that is something to be aware of. Greater chances for showers popping up in the Okanagan Valley in northeast Washington, but the full timing of this we'll get into in my extended forecast.
Can you believe it? We have made it to another Hoop Fest weekend, my friends. And if you're headed downtown to catch a game or maybe playing one, here's what you need to know. First up, the tournament takes over pretty much all of downtown. You can see on the court map right here, there are more than 400 courts. And right now, roads are shut down. Here's a couple streets that are closed: Sprague Avenue, Summit Parkway, Broadway Avenue, and the Washington Street Bridge. We've got the full list of closings on our website right now, KREM.com. And as for what's open, Maple, Walnut, Lincoln, Monroe, Brown, and Division Streets will still be open through the weekend. Parking also can be a little bit tricky. The parkade is open, though, for parking. And if you're not familiar, it's on West Main downtown between Howard and Stevens. It'll cost you $30 to park for just the day and $50 to park for the full weekend. WSU Spokane also says parking on campus will be free all weekend. And to help get around all those street closures, STA is running some extra routes this weekend for you. They call it the Hoop Loop. It's a few shuttles that run every 15 minutes on both today and tomorrow. One picks up from SCC and the other at the Jefferson lot. You can park for free at SCC, WSU Spokane, select Gonzaga parking lots, and the Jefferson lot, which is under I-90 at 4th and Walnut. The roads outside of downtown might also get pretty busy this weekend. WSP says I-90 highways, Highway 2, I-95, and 395, as well as the downtown Spokane corridor, will all be heavily impacted. So be sure to plan for some extra time and some delays. You'll also see more troopers on the roads. WSP and local police departments are doing some extra safety patrols. And then also this week, and you got to go check this out, the Hoop Fest store officially open. You can get exclusive Hoop Fest gear and even get it customized. Pretty cool stuff right there. There will also be some fun merch from the great P&W. It's open now through Sunday, and it's right next to Center Court in the Giza Pavilion. So there's so much to know about Hoop Fest. We have a full guide with everything you need to know. Just go ahead and text us the word Hoop Fest to 509-448-2000, and we'll send it right on over to your phone. And if Hoop Fest isn't your thing, we still got you covered with your weekend What's Up. Here's Nicole Legou with some of today's events.
There are a lot of events happening across the Inland Northwest today. It's not just Hoop Fest. So first up, today is day 2 of the Panhandle Pickleball Tournament out at Cherry Hill Park in Coeur d'Alene. Today for Saturday, they're doing mixed doubles. And then from noon to 5 today, Fluent Motions Parkour is doing a big community day. There's going to be a bunch of different free activities, demonstrations. All they ask is that you bring clean indoor shoes. The Spokane Zero Waste Clothing Swap is from 10 to noon today at the North Spokane Library. They say bring up to 5 pieces of clothes to swap. This one's pretty popular for music lovers. Beyond Wonderland is at the Gorge this weekend, and you can see right down there, Saturday, June 27th. That's today's lineup. Today, we're heading into Game 4 of the Spokane Indians series against the Tri-City Dust Devils. That game is at 7:05 tonight. It is Storybook Princess and Fireworks Night. And last up, Pride in Perry is today as well. It's from noon to 5 p.m. in Perry, of course. There's going to be a ton of fun stuff there. They're going to have aerial acts, balloon art, and then live music in the form of both DJs and a band.
So we've got a fun and full weekend. And a reminder, if you're watching on KSKN 22 this morning, you can get even more Up with KREM weekend show on the KREM 2 app. We stream our weekend shows on the KREM 2 app on Saturday and Sunday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to download the KREM 2 app directly to your TV. All right, still ahead, we got more on Hoop Fest just ahead, and we're talking to an MVP off the court, the Hoop Fest medical director. His tips for staying safe, whether you're in the spotlight or on the sidelines. Plus, we know how much the Inland Northwest loves to garden. Turns out the hobby could be great for your brain as well. We'll tell you more in 10 minutes.
All right, we are just days away from Hoop Fest, and there's a lot going on during Hoop Fest. We know it's going to be a little bit cooler this year, which might be a good thing. We have the medical director for Hoop Fest with us, Dr. Nicholas Strasser with us. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, both of you. Appreciate the time.
So we want to start off, first of all, just overall, we're only a few days out now. What can we do in the next few days to prepare and try to avoid one of those more major injuries?
You know, it's a great call. It's funny how quickly Hoop Fest seems to sneak up on us every summer. But I think we're at a point now where the key for me is hydration. You know, can people lean into that hydration? Make sure they're hydrating now. Try to get outside, get used to a little bit of the heat, although of course that's changing more this year.
Still need to hydrate.
Still need to hydrate though, yeah. You definitely don't want to forget it just because it's cooler outside. So I think that's a big one. Never hurts to work on some mobility things, stretch a little bit, and then have a game plan, no pun intended. You can be out there and say, where's my court? Where's the nearest restroom, hydration station? Where can I get inside and take a break from whatever inclement weather we may run into?
And also, where's the nearest tent, the medical tent? I know I've had so many friends that, you know, I personally don't play, but I have a lot of friends that have been injured before, and it's important to know where those tents are. I do want to talk about it because you guys offer a lot for everyone. Some people think that it costs money. It's actually free, right? Tell us more about what you guys offer at the medical tents.
It's awesome. You know, for us, we're really proud to serve the community over this weekend. It's such a big part of our partnership with between Multicare and Hoop Fest. And so we have 3 strategic tents placed throughout the event. One is toward the North Bank, up toward the pavilion, one in River Park Square, and then one by the Grand. And so hopefully we're as close as we can be to as many courts as possible. Each of those tents has your array of first aid and coordination with first responders. So if there's something that we can't handle, we will do a warm handoff to make sure that those are well covered as they move toward, and hopefully not requiring, but toward the emergency department. Beyond that, at one of our tents, we do have portable x-ray with radiology on site, orthopedic surgery on site, so they can read x-rays in real time. We can splint, we can cast, we can get folks set up for a follow-up afterwards. And to your point, Tim, absolutely. The entire weekend, at the weekend, is completely free to the community and the players. And I do highlight that it's not just players.
Sure.
Those curbs can get you in Spokane.
Oh, yeah.
And so we want to give folks a chance that if they do, unfortunately, twist an ankle or have any bumps or bruises or questions, we're happy to see them.
It's always amazing to see the kind of the injury report that you guys do and how many people you serve. It's incredible what you guys do in just 2 days.
Totally.
I want to talk about this year. We already talked that it's going to be a bit cooler, maybe rainy. What are some of those challenges that you expect, and how can people at home prepare for maybe rainy conditions at a rainy Hoop Fest?
A bit of a unique scenario, right? For us, usually it's a pretty warm event. And so we want to make sure you have lots of layers, right? Fairly simple stuff. Stay warm, get inside in between events, make sure you warm up if you are cool. Cold and wet is not a good idea, so we want to be conscientious of that. And then Beyond that, if folks want to check out their courts ahead of time, I say get there early. If you see a puddle, if you see a slip spot, be aware of ways that you might be able to navigate around those obstacles. And then good shoes. You never want to start with a new pair of shoes. It's a recipe for blisters. But if you can have a pair of shoes with some decent tread and not just that old pair you stuffed in the back of the closet from last year's Hoop Fest, it might help mitigate a little bit of that risk of slipping.
Thank you very much for all those tips. Definitely all of us will be listening. I know quite a few of us here are playing in Hoop Fest.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Good luck this weekend. We'll be right back.
And coming up, I'm tracking your weather forecast for Hoop Fest weekend.
Well, we are a little over a week away from the 4th of July, and with that, the city of Pullman is warning residents about when they are allowed to light off their own fireworks. Stands open on Monday, July 1st, but you won't be able to legally use them until Friday, July 3rd from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. and then on July 4th from 9 a.m. to midnight. If you don't follow those guidelines, you could face a fine of $100. Officers will be patrolling for firework violations. It's also important to note fireworks are not allowed in Sunnyside Park during the community celebration, and personal fireworks are not allowed at schools or City of Pullman properties. Idaho Governor Brad Little gave state employees an extra 2 days of paid leave for America 250. So on top of the state observed holiday on the 3rd, some people will also get Thursday the 2nd and Monday the 6th off. But it's only for eligible executive branch employees. If you're looking for an adventurous way to celebrate Independence Day, what about visiting a national park? They'll be free to most people through that entire weekend, so July 3rd through July 5th. But you do have to be a U.S. citizen or a resident. If you're driving on I-90, you may see something pretty hard to miss. ITD installed an American flag on 4th of July Pass. They hope it will be a point of pride for travelers both now and for years to come as we honor America 250.
Thanks so much for joining us here on this Saturday morning. It's time to get a look at the forecast, and it's a busy weekend here for Spokane with Hoop Fest. We've also seen a change in our weather pattern. We saw this arrive for us yesterday, but what we're seeing here are cooler temperatures really all weekend long. Today, we're trending mostly cloudy, and winds are going to be a little bit breezy here today, tomorrow, and even into early next week. So, of course, all eyes are on that Hoop Fest forecast. Today, we've seen the slight chance of some of those light morning showers. Otherwise, we are giving way to mostly cloudy skies through the rest of this afternoon for Spokane. While tomorrow, we're looking at about a 40% chance of some light on and off showers. So today is actually going to be your drier day here out of this weekend. Daytime highs, though, noticeably on the cooler side here. We're looking at a high of 66 degrees for Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, 63 for St. Mary's, and we are in the low to mid 70s out towards central Washington. These temperatures that we are seeing region-wide here are a bit below average. So it's noticeably cooler out there, especially because previously here in last week, we were well above average. Now, moving forward, we do have the slight chance of seeing some isolated thunderstorm activity for all these areas that are shaded in green. So if we see some of those pop-up thunderstorms, we could see things like thunder and lightning, at times some heavy downpour rain and gustier winds. It's something to definitely be aware of if you plan to be outside a lot this weekend, for example, for Hoop Fest. When thunder roars, head indoors. What we're seeing on our future tracker is some of that activity, though, mostly up toward parts of the Okanagan Valley and Northeast Washington, as Spokane County is looking mostly cloudy all the way through into this evening. But those showers are going to continue to be scattered up toward the Okanagan Valley. As we move forward into tomorrow, we'll watch for some showers moving in a lot through the Idaho Panhandle, more widespread by tomorrow morning, before we do see those chances of light showers moving across Spokane and eastern Washington, ahead of more rain overnight Sunday into the beginning of Monday and the start of the work week. Winds are going to be elevated here through the rest of the weekend, with gusts near 20 miles per hour in Spokane for the day today. They die down a little bit overnight tonight, but then they pick right back up into our Sunday. So overall, breezy winds, even gusty through parts of Ellensburg and central Washington. Overnight tonight, we drop here pretty cool in the upper 40s to low 50s. As we move forward, though, and take a look at the next 3 days, again, chances for showers come back into play for Sunday, the second half of Hoop Fest, and will even linger into Monday and the start of the week. With the chances for showers, though, rolling across the inland Northwest, a helpful tool to have for free on your phone is access to our live radar. You can get this for free on the KREM 2 app, a great tool for this Hoop Fest weekend.
All right, I've got some good news for anyone with a green thumb. It turns out gardening may boost your brain health. Michael George spoke with experts about the results of a new study.
This one goes here, honey.
Gail Cantor and her husband David are enjoying a day of gardening together. But lately, this simple hobby has an added purpose.
My husband recently was diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
We're putting in the plants.
They're participating in the Memory Program at Brooklyn Botanical Garden. Volunteers like Joan Schieber host gardening classes for seniors with memory loss and their caregivers.
Sometimes smelling the herbs, smelling the flowers awakens memories of the past.
Let's put the basil.
New research shows gardening significantly improves cognitive health, boosting memory.
Gardening is more than a hobby. It's really a habit that we want to start forming to keep the brain as healthy as possible.
Neurologist Dr. Smitha Patel of Endeavor Health says growing plants also lowers stress and gives our body and mind a workout.
So that little bit of exercise, low, moderate activity is really good for our brains. It allows the blood flow to get to our brains.
What's next? Gail Cantor says she hopes her husband David gets something out of this experience.
It's hard to tell. I don't know if he remembers it soon after we do it. He participates. So I can't imagine that he isn't somehow getting something out of it. You gotta get the bulbs, dear.
At the very least, it's a moment to escape into nature and something the two of them can enjoy together. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
A hobby shop empire here in the inland Northwest closed its doors after 60 years in business.
No, you're closing. You can't be closing. I'm sorry, it's our time in life.
After the break, we'll take you to the iconic family-owned shop to learn why and how important this is to the community. Well, as of this morning, a family-owned North Spokane hobby shop that served the community for nearly 60 years is officially closed. KREM 2 photojournalist Dave Summers visited B&B Hobbies before they closed their doors and spoke to them about what's next.
B&B. We don't do any advertising, and it's all word of mouth. I've always had the view that if you can't find me, you probably don't need me. I'm Brian Batch, second son of the B&B, so my brother Bruce is first B, I'm second B. Our parents started this in 1965. And we've become the largest thing in the Northwest, if not the largest on the West Coast for actual inventory. It's amazing how much we're hearing people right now that are calling from back east and down south saying, no, you're closing, you can't be closing. I'm sorry, it's our time in life. You know, we've got health issues with things we have to take care of, and that's what we're gonna do.
My name is Buddy Cox. I've been coming in here since the 70s. When I was a kid, I came in here and got my first model RC car. Now they're gonna be gone. World's going to come to an end. They've always been here. You know, if you have something breaks or whatever, they know how to fix it, and they usually got the parts. I don't know what people are going to do besides cry.
I need some CA, a 1 ounce medium and a 1 ounce thin.
You use whatever you want. Use 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
My name is Bruce Batch Jr. Just working our lives off. We're falling apart. Just getting out of here. It just lingers. It maybe my mind will straighten out a little bit.
I think I'm going to get my pilot's license. I've flown a lot of full-size aircraft.
What's going to happen to all this stuff?
A certain amount of it is we're going to go play with it. We don't have time to play with this stuff. We work every day.
When we retire, then I'm going to go out and I want to wreck stuff. I want to break some planes and stuff. Take my revenge.
Yeah. Thank you, Spokane. Thank you, Inland Empire. Everybody, I think 99.999% of them realize that we're here for their own good, and we wanted to produce that. And you know, they've helped us to get to a point where we can retire.
We're happy to see everybody and everything, and we're just getting there. And it's time to get, like my brother says, it's time to get out there and do the world and just have fun.
Well, still ahead, thousands of 3- and 4-year-olds in Washington State could soon qualify for free preschool. How it works in our next half hour. Ahead on Up with KREM, an investigation into the deadly Longview chemical implosion is raising new questions about a known leak at the paper mill. What state records reveal about the issue that went years without being addressed.
It was completely out of touch with what we do.
Plus, Washington families facing uncertainty, why they worry a Medicaid program for caregivers could get the cut. And it's the last day of the World Cup group stage. A look at the final matchups and who has a ticket to the round of 32. Top of the morning, and thank you for joining us here on Up with KREM. We certainly appreciate you beginning your day here with us. I'm Brandon T. Jones. Over in the Weather Center, we've got Jenny Power keeping us up to date with our Hoop Fest weekend weather forecast. So, Jenny, how are things looking out there?
Yeah, Brandon, taking a look at the forecast, I mean, as we compare this Hoop Fest compared to Hoop Fest in the years past, it's definitely a cooler one here as low pressure has dropped down out of the Gulf of Alaska. So our daytime highs are going to be in the mid to upper 60s here for today and into tomorrow. We've seen some slight chances of some light rain earlier this morning, but otherwise we are looking at a mostly cloudy afternoon as we're seeing the increased chances for some on and off showers tomorrow. So tomorrow is anticipated to be the wetter day here out of the two. Daytime highs across the region. We are in the mid 60s for Bonners Ferry and Sandpoint, only reaching 59 degrees for Elk River. We've got some low 70s as the high out in central Washington with some low 60s down on the Palouse. Now, moving forward, we do have the slight chance of isolated thunderstorms for these areas that are shaded in green on your screen. With this, we could see things like at times heavier downpour rain and some thunder and lightning. So we remember when thunder roars, try to head indoors as that storm system's moving through. As far as our future tracker goes, we're seeing more of this activity up toward the Okanagan Valley and northeast Washington, as well as into the Idaho Panhandle, as we're looking at those mostly cloudy skies for Spokane and into Coeur d'Alene. But a full breakdown of the weather forecast here and the extended outlook coming up in just a few minutes.
Well, some Washington families and advocates worry comments about a federal Medicaid program made in the nation's capital could impact upcoming decisions at the Washington state capitol. One family says $3,000 a month from the program allows them to provide around-the-clock care for their 27-year-old daughter. She has an intellectual disability and a seizure disorder. She needs help doing just about everything. But in April, U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. accused families like hers of misusing the program.
Waivers allow people, family members, who are taking care of an elderly parent to get paid for balancing the checkbook, for picking up the groceries, for driving somebody to a doctor's appointment.
The Arc of Washington says cutting the funding could cost taxpayers more in the long run by forcing families to send adult children to expensive institutions.
It was completely out of touch with what we do during the day. Yes, I drive her to medical appointments. Yes, I drive her to the grocery store. How else would she get there?
For now, they have not eliminated the funding, but they are discussing it. Advocates worry the state would not be able to take on the funding gap because of next year's budget shortfall. Meanwhile, Washington is expanding access to free preschool. They're adding about 2,500 new slots for the next school year. The state's early childhood education and assistance program, known as ECAP, will be at 54 new sites across Washington. The free program is for eligible 3- and 4-year-olds. Officials say families will be able to find new program locations and apply for the additional slots starting next month. Before the Nippon Dino Wave disaster in Longview, state records show there was a problem, a leak. That leak was on the same tank that spilled white liquor and killed 11 people. And records show the leak had been documented for nearly a year.
Before the Nippon Dino Wave disaster in Longview, state records show there was a problem, a leak, on the same tank that spilled white liquor, killing 11 people. And the records show it had been documented for nearly a year.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
On May 26th, emergency crews responded to Nippon Dino Wave Packaging in Longview. The plant produces pulp used to make paper products.
Yeah, we need rescue units, fire department, everyone.
Yep, we've got lots of people headed that way.
Investigators haven't determined the cause, but the focus is here, a failed tank that can hold 900,000 gallons of chemicals. It's known as G-Tank. State records say G-Tank is used as a swing tank for black or white liquor or other service, meaning it's not a single-purpose tank. Inspection records show a leak was identified in December 2023. A safety valve on top of the tank was leaking. The valve, known as a pressure vacuum relief breaker, lets gas escape from the white liquor tank or G-Tank. 4 months later, records show the company tried to fix the leak, but the initial repair attempt was unsuccessful. The same report shows final repair reportedly will be delayed until next G-Tank outage. That was supposed to come in May and June of 2024 during a mill-wide shutdown. But it didn't happen. Inspectors wrote during the May-June 2024 total mill outage, NDP, or Nippon Dynawave Packaging, reportedly did not take all units out of service. Specifically, Nippon Dynawave continued to operate their tanks, including their white liquor storage tank, G-Tank. As of September 2024, state records show the leak on G-Tank still hadn't been fixed.
So why it matters is not so much that that particular device was leaking, but that it leaked and it continued to leak.
Industrial safety expert Mike Schmidt of Bluefield Process Safety cautions the leak may not have anything to do with the tank's failure, but it could be an indication of the plant putting off repairs.
Most maintenance can be deferred for a little while with no consequences. It's not like when the oil light comes on your car that you're immediately, the engine's going to blow up. But it does say you need to take care of it, and sooner is better than later.
Under federal rules, the leak itself from a white liquor tank wasn't considered an air quality violation. It was simply noted by state regulators. The Washington Department of Ecology makes it clear state oversight does not include inspections of the structural integrity or process safety of the white liquor tank involved in the May 26th incident. Instead, Nippon Dynawave says it does its own testing to identify any potential cracks or leaks. The company says all liquor storage tanks are scheduled for visual external inspection annually, and leaks are repaired immediately if possible. It's not clear if the leak at G-Tank was ever repaired, when or how. State records make no mention of a fix.
Well, today is the last day of the group stage of the World Cup, and after today's matches, teams will advance to the round of 32 knockout stage. Let's go ahead and get a look at today's matches. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, Panama faces England. At the same time, Croatia and Ghana kick off. Panama doesn't have a hope of moving on to the round of 32, so they are effectively eliminated from the tournament. The next round of matches start at 4:30 p.m. That'll be the Group K teams, Colombia versus Portugal and the Democratic Republic of Congo versus Uzbekistan. Colombia heading into their match against Portugal at the top of the Group K leaderboard. And the final matches of the group stage. Algeria faces Austria at 7 p.m. and Jordan meets Argentina at the same time. Jordan, who made their first World Cup appearance this year, is unfortunately already eliminated. They will not be moving on to the round of 32, but plenty of people will probably be tuning in to that matchup anyway to watch Lionel Messi in action. All right, still ahead, Hoop Fest starts today, and if you're not the athletic type, you can enjoy the big basketball weekend with a book. Check out our conversation with the Spokane Public Library to learn more about their Hoop Fest inspired books. And later, some restaurants are offering deals for the 4th of July. We've got the details you need to know in just a few moments.
Well, Hoop Fest is just days away now, and the downtown Spokane Public Library is right in the heart of the action. I have two guests with us here today. We have Vanessa and Alina. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you.
Excited to talk about Hoop Fest. This is maybe a non-traditional Hoop Fest connection, but Spokane Public Library came out with a list of Hoop Fest sports basketball-related reading Tell us about it, Vanessa.
Yeah, so when you're down at Hoop Fest and you're want to take a break from all the action, you can head into the Central Library. It's nice and cool. You get a drink of water, and you can pick up a book. So we have a list of books about basketball. So there's some nonfiction biographies of basketball players, and then there's a lot of fiction, so stories that include basketball in them. So we have Resball, which is about basketball players on Native American reservations, and that kind of hits home in this area. And it's a whole, it's a very different experience that some people may not be familiar with, and there's a lot of really authentic teen characters in that book. And then we also have The Queen Bees of Tybee County, and that's a great book about a basketball star in school, and he happens to also love beauty pageants. And so how does he follow his joy in that and then also maintain, his status as a basketball player?
Yeah, we're heading into summer. There's a lot of maybe downtime, whether you're out of school or maybe you're in between games at Hoop Fest. There's a lot to check out at the library. Could one of you kind of speak to all the different options at the library? Because it's not just books, there's also audio, there's multimedia. What else can people find at the Spokane Public Library?
So there's, if you want to read novels, you want to have like a light summer read, we have that. We have nonfiction if you want to work on history or the facts about basketball or whatever you're into. And at the library, we can always help you find something that you would love to read, because whatever you're excited about, we're excited you're excited. Yeah. And we have DVDs, we have audiobooks, and we have Libby, which is an app where you can download ebooks and audiobooks. So if you just want to take a break and walk, clean your house, whatever, and listen to an audiobook.
It's the best.
You can do that
That's
for
what
free.
I do.
Yeah.
You could play basketball and listen to an audiobook.
Yeah.
That I could not. I'm sure there are people who could. I would be like, I'm not coordinated enough. So great. Alina, and then just talk to us about, the library's connection with the community, especially in the summertime. Tell us about some ways that people can stay engaged over the summer.
Well, not only do we have a summer reading program, which we hope everybody takes part in, but we also have events that happen all summer long. We have story times outside, we have themed events, we have movies that you can come watch, and then we also have a lot of different opportunities for people to just come in and enjoy the library, whether it's at children's play spaces. We have book displays at each of the libraries that are oftentimes themed, so we'll do a Hoop Fest one.
And then you have the Hoop Fest list available for folks if they want to see all the suggested reading. Where can folks find that list?
We have created a blog on our website, so if you go to SpokaneLibrary.org, there's a blog for Hoop Fest Reads. That's what it's going to be titled, and that's going to be on our main page, closer to Hoop Fest, but in the meantime, you can click on the Read More from our blog, and it'll be in there.
Cool. All right, thank you both so much. Looking forward to checking out that list.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
All new in 3 minutes, some Washington parents are setting down screens and giving their kids a landline phone instead. How they say it's going so far. Well, parents want their kids to hang up the phone, the cell phone that is, and pick up something a little more retro. It's called the tin can phone, a landline designed for children, and one Washington State community is embracing it. Here's how it's going so far.
In a world saturated with screens, where eyeballs are getting younger, connections growing more distant, and pressures to post more pervasive, there is a longing for a new baseline. A lifeline.
Hello?
A landline.
Here's the story of a lovely lady.
It's the story of an experiment of sorts being conducted on San Juan Island. 300 families across the island given brand new, old-school phones for their kids to use instead of cell phones.
Hello? Where's Calvin?
They're called tin can phones. They look like the old string and soup can contraptions kids used to make in the pre-digital days.
You type in the numbers, and then you put it up to your ear.
A benefactor donating the phones to families on the island, including the Finn family, whose 6- and 8-year-old sons have friends who already have cell phones.
The access that they have to stuff that we would prefer them not is super high.
And it sometimes says You dial is neither not working or was incorrect. Please hang up and try again. Thank you.
The phones connect to the internet and are plugged into the wall. Parents control who's allowed to call in and out and the hours of operation. There are no screens, just conversations. You know what people used to use phones for?
It's been cool to watch them learn the skills of a conversation.
The average screen time for kids 8 to 18 years old is 7.5 hours a day. Teens with high daily screen times are more than twice as likely to experience depression and anxiety. A 2025 study in the Journal of the American Heart Association found cell phones contribute to high blood pressure, eating disorders, and harassment.
Tin Can really helps a kid find their voice in a pretty powerful and unexpected way.
Chet Kittleson founded Tin Can after fighting his own battle with social media and anxiety. He worried about his own kids.
We just wanted to give them a sense of connection without, the entire internet in their pocket.
Chet believes kids just want to connect, and delaying screen time by providing a landline can change their relationship with the technology and help them discover their true voice.
Kids who have a tin can and that their communities embrace it will be on average much later to move to a cell phone. And then I also think it's likely that what they move to may look a lot different, given that they've been used to something a little bit different.
Drag each thing onto the letter that it starts with.
The Reck family goes to great lengths to limit their son Elias's screen time.
We want them to grow up and, know how to use these technologies, but we want to protect them from the saturation.
They too are a Tin Can family, hoping to foster a simpler lifestyle in this complex age of connectivity.
Just less is more and kind of going back to the basics.
Is your mom growing a garden?
Yeah.
A good old-fashioned call to grandma, a novelty in our tech-saturated society.
It was really cool on those first few phone calls. Watching them light up.
On San Juan Island, it's the way they all became a bit more connected and a lot less wired.
Going back to just a phone feels good.
Okay. Goodbye.
Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News.
All right, folks, the big day is here, and it's not just basketball players warming up for games. Hoop Fest volunteers are also lacing up their shoes and joining in on the fun. KREM 2's Laura Papetti sat down with Will Flanagan, a longtime Hoop Fest volunteer, to talk about how he got his start on the court.
Do you remember your first Hoop Fest, whether you were playing or volunteering?
Oh, I don't like basketball, one. Ironically, I don't like basketball at all. Actually, my friends would tell you I don't follow the NBA. I don't know any of the players. I don't follow any stuff. However, 16 years ago, I signed up to be a scorekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
And
but if you don't like basketball, can I ask why you signed up to be?
I signed up because I thought, what an amazing organization to be a volunteer of, to be part of a community. Friendship, yeah, awesome experience. So I signed up to be a scorekeeper. And it was probably about halfway through the first day, a marshal comes out to me. The monitor over here on the right passed out or wasn't feeling really well.
Oh, no.
It was warm that weekend.
Hot. It tends to be a little warm on Hoop Fest.
Yeah, and so he said, hey, here's a whistle, here's a stopwatch, here's the Hoop Fest Bible, which has all your brackets, all the rules. Learn it. You got 5 minutes. You're on the next skill. I'm like,
memorize it.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I do not know what I'm doing here.
All right, for the full interview, head on over to the KREM 2 app on your TV or your phone. It's free to watch.
Thanks so much for joining us here on this Saturday morning. It's time to get a look at the forecast, and it's a busy weekend here for Spokane with Hoop Fest. We've also seen a change in our weather pattern. We saw this arrive for us yesterday, but what we're seeing here are cooler temperatures really all weekend long. Today, we're trending mostly cloudy, and winds are going to be a little bit breezy here today, tomorrow, and even into early next week. So, of course, all eyes are on that Hoop Fest forecast. Today, we've seen the slight chance of some of those light morning showers. Otherwise, we are giving way to mostly cloudy skies through the rest of this afternoon for Spokane. While tomorrow, we're looking at about a 40% chance of some light on and off showers. So today is actually going to be your drier day here out of this weekend. Daytime highs, though, noticeably on the cooler side here. We're looking at a high of 66 degrees for Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, 63 for St. Mary's, and we are in the low to mid 70s out towards central Washington. These temperatures that we are seeing region-wide here are a bit below average, so it's noticeably cooler out there, especially because previously here in last week, we were well above average. Now, moving forward, we do have the slight chance of seeing some isolated thunderstorm activity for all these areas that are shaded in green. So if we see some of those pop-up thunderstorms, we could see things like thunder and lightning, at times some heavy downpour rain and gustier winds. It's something to definitely be aware of if you plan to be outside a lot this weekend, for example, for Hoop Fest. When thunder roars, head indoors. What we're seeing on our future tracker is some of that activity, though, mostly up toward parts of the Okanagan Valley and Northeast Washington, as Spokane County is looking mostly cloudy all the way through into this evening. But those showers are going to continue to be scattered up toward the Okanagan Valley. As we move forward into tomorrow, we'll watch for some showers moving in a lot through the Idaho Panhandle, more widespread by tomorrow morning, before we do see those chances of light showers moving across Spokane and eastern Washington, ahead of more rain overnight Sunday into the beginning of Monday and the start of the work week. Winds are going to be elevated here through the rest of the weekend, with gusts near 20 miles per hour in Spokane for the day today. They die down a little bit overnight tonight, but then they pick right back up into our Sunday. So overall, breezy winds, even gusty through parts of Ellensburg and central Washington. Overnight tonight, we drop here pretty cool in the upper 40s to low 50s. As we move forward, though, and take a look at the next 3 days, again, chances for showers come back into play for Sunday, the second half of Hoop Fest, and will even linger into Monday and the start of the week. With the chances for showers, though, rolling across the inland Northwest, a helpful tool to have for free on your phone is access to our live radar. You can get this for free on the KREM 2 app, a great tool for this Hoop Fest weekend.
And coming up next, restaurants are celebrating America 250 with some deals, where you could score some cheap eats a week from today. Jenny, we are exactly 1 week away from America celebrating its 250th birthday.
This is just so crazy that we are this close to it. And to help you celebrate, some companies are actually offering some deals. So let's take a look at those. Burger King has all new menu items, including a firecracker cookie pie and an orange dreamsicle freeze. Also, Whopper Juniors will cost just $2.50 each on Saturday, July 4th, only for rewards members.
All right, and Betty Crocker will reimburse 1 million customers who buy its cake mixes. For the chance to get yours free, upload a picture of your receipt to Betty Crocker's website.
Sonic has a limited time America 250 menu with items priced at $2.50. Dunkin' has a collection of patriotic treats as well, and a limited edition collectible cup that's actually going to be shaped like an eagle.
I'm interested to see that. And Krispy Kreme rolls out its own 4th of July collection featuring a U.S. cream-filled donut and a red, white, and blue Freedom Ring donut. So, Jenny, any of those stick out to you? Are you going to go pick up anything?
You know, I love when I hear that a menu has stuff for $2.50.
No doubt.
So definitely have to pick those out. If we had a Dunkin', I need to see this Eagle Cup.
Yeah, I do want to see the Eagle Cup. You know, Sonic actually, their advertising got me earlier this week. I'm probably scrolling Instagram or whatever, and something I haven't been to Sonic in probably, I don't know, 5 years maybe.
Right.
If that. But they have this like new, like, it was like a peach slushy kind of looking drink, and I was like, that looks refreshing.
That looks good.
So yeah, marketing, hey. Good for you all out there.
It's working.
Exactly. Well, happy Hoop Fest weekend, everyone. You got to let us know if you come back on Sunday, if you're going to be playing and winning or whatever it may be. Send some pictures in. We would love to see them.
Yes.
Yeah. So have a great day, everyone. Enjoy it. Also stretch. Please make sure you're stretching. We don't want you to get hurt out there. But again, happy Hoop Fest weekend.
Yeah. Be safe out there and have fun.